across the Phi Slamma Jamma Houston.
Well, they've had some good shots, and they just haven't been able to put them down. Hand penetrates, misses again, and that has been the problem. Loose, and Duke tracks it down.
Hand's got great quickness with the basketball. He's very explosive with the ball in his hands.
Goes over to Virginia.
That was a great shootout, that 109-100 overtime game. As you look here at the 0 for 7 for Virginia early in the game. Duke comes out 3 for 3.
Dribble Hall to the glass. Misses another layup, but an offense by Hand, who pulls it back outside.
That's one of the weak areas of Duke. Duke's not an outstanding rebounding team.
Foul called before the shot, I believe.
That's one of their problems, one of the deficient areas. Do not rebound well. The guy that hasn't touched the ball yet, who's been brilliant in the ACC, is this big, smooth Chris Williams. Matty A's playing him, and he's like the minister of defense.
Remember, he's coming off a 27-point performance. The foul was on Williams. Out of bounds underneath the Virginia goal. On top, he drew the foul off the drive. Penetrates, easy layup.
Nice drive.
Good screen on top to pick Williams off, and no one switched. Williams brings it back. Great dish on the inside. Block on Boozer. Follow on Carrawell. And one.
Chris Carrawell with a good offensive rebound from out of St. Louis Cardinal Ritter High School. Teammate of Lauren Woods. He asked me before the game. He said, what about my guy Woods? 14 block shots in one game. Here's Jason Williams. So strong. Dishes it off. Good reaction. Good defensive play. Stefan Dondon out of junior college. They found him laid out in Texas. Rotated over with that block shot, but Carrawell picked up the loose ball. What about big shots he made against North Carolina? Hey, Brad Doherty, what about that three-point play in the overtime by Carrawell in a crucial moment against North Carolina?
Vic, that's one of the biggest shots I've seen in ACC basketball, especially in the North Carolina Duke matchups. He just wanted the basketball worse than anyone on the floor, and he went straight to the goal. There was no denying it. Very impressive.
Watson back on the floor. Virginia attacks, comes up short again. Boozer yanks it away, and here's Williams on the drive for the Devils. To the glass, drew the foul. He'll shoot.
He's so strong. They were a little bit scared after beating North Carolina. They came back to the Duke campus, and they took Jason Williams right to the medical people because they thought he broke his hand. As you see the strong drive right here, it was all swollen. They thought possibly a break. They took an x-ray, and they found out he just had basically a bruise. That would have been a major loss. When you're playing 6 guys exclusively, better than 30 minutes, you can't afford any kind of injury.
Matt Christensen checks in for the Blue Devils, and Carlos Boozer sits.
Just trying to get a few minutes out of Christensen, come on a court, be a space eater. And I think that hand might affect Jason Williams shooting free throws. Against North Carolina, he struggled late in the game. He's normally a very good free throw shooter.
12-2.
Mom and Dad so proud they're here today. We saw him at practice, giving big hugs to Coach K. Oh, look at that screen up on top.
Back now to Williams. Matty all over it. Here's Watson, who has returned, kicking out a map. And one of the great names in college basketball knocks it down. Majestic Map. He has a brother named Scientific Map.
Scientific play for Florida A&M. He's from out of New York City. Played in a great high school program, St. Raymond's in the Bronx, coached by Gary.
Carrawell missing, put back in, however, by James, who had great rebounding position. They run the floor, and Virginia missing again at the other end. They have missed several layups tonight. That's Adam Hall, or I should say, this afternoon.
They really get the ball out in transition, Virginia. Hall's a good athlete, but you got to convert those layups, especially away from home.
Deflected back to Williams. So here is the freshman point. Reset.
Just learning how to be a point guard. He's got an unbelievable upside.
There he is on the penetration. Knocks down the short J, and it just like that, it is 16-5. The Blue Devils have not lost this century. The only 2 games they lost last November as the season began. Great defense again, but a cleanup, and Virginia just cannot hit layups. So we've got a timeout at the 15-17 mark. Duke 16, cold shooting Virginia 5.
be great if our money would grow as fast as these kids. I can't
Will
believe
paying for college be as painful as this? It's getting ugly.
Hey, that kid just drop a pretzel? Because I like pretzels. I really
Glenn
like
will be able to help with her
I
education.
wonder if we...
A beer apart.
Well, Connecticut was beaten today by Michigan State. You've got to think about Duke being a possible #1 seed in the East. Remember now, Syracuse cannot be seeded in the East. The regional final is on their home floor. So a lot at stake here in the next month for these Blue Devils. Pass is knocked out of bounds. Dick, what about Battier's defense?
I'll tell you, he's the minister of defense. Last year was voted the defensive player nationally. He's really locked up Chris Williams early in this game. The Big Smooth is an outstanding offensive player. And also with Carrawell, they have great versatility defensively.
Virginia only 2 of 13 from the floor. Watson draws the foul, and he will shoot a pair of free throws.
I like Watson. I just like his presence on the floor. You know, you mentioned a great point there. A lot of people aren't aware, Brant, that Syracuse cannot play as we see him working on the inside. A little head fake, and the head fake got to contact. But, you know, a lot of people aren't aware that Syracuse cannot play at the Carrier Dome, which is the host of the East Regional. And they'll probably go out to the South. Cincinnati will be in the Midwest and Stanford in the West if it was done today. That would be the choices today.
And Michigan State's rating on the RPI was ridiculous.
Oh, that's absurd. 48? Are you kidding me? The RPI, I use the VBDI, the Vital Ball Dome Index, and I know better than that, partner. I know you're into those computers big time.
That's all we use in the college football game. You may have noticed. Watson kicks it in.
Full court
now pressure. It's 16-6. Virginia trails it by 10 here at the early going. A very negative start for Peter Gillen's Cavaliers. James bluffs the shot. Now comes to the jam. Rebound Virginia. Dick, if they can just hit a better percentage, they might be able to climb back in here. His hand out of bounds on the bad pass. Now here's your top 10, your USA Today, ESPN. There are the 4 teams that Dick mentioned. Arizona, of course, is hoping that they can move up and catch Stanford out west. Christensen cut off, now underneath, missed the shot, taps it in.
Nice play by Christensen. If they can steal some minutes out of him to improve their rotation, get a little more depth. I mean, the other night, Battier played 42 minutes, Carrawell played 43.
Williams played a ton of minutes also in that game, and Petey's going to go for another timeout, it looks like.
Pete Gillen did a great job at Xavier. As you pointed out, some big wins at Providence as well. At Xavier, he beat a #3 seed, Georgetown, one year, and then you said earlier, which was great, he beat that big game over Duke.
All right, a reminder that coming up next, the world's most dynamic Extremers are on ABC. Join last year's gold medalists, Chris Vincent, Enoch Cavaggio, and Peter Line as they compete in the snowcross, Skier X, and snowboarding slopestyle events. It's the 3rd annual Winter X Games. Next on ABC, you should see Dick Vitale on a snowboard.
As I look at the summary right now, look at the shooting totals. That's the story right here, Duke for 13. My partner is going snowmobiling with his sons, Scott, and the whole gang, Blake, up in Yellowstone next Tuesday. Lots of luck, baby. You couldn't get me on one of those. I want to ride one of your horses, though. I want to go on your farm in Montana and ride one of those horses.
No, it'll be fun.
Oh, I know you're on cloud nine. I got to get out of the way. You boy won the Super Bowl, Mr. Reveal. And you better get your son, because your son's been a consultant in that office. You better get him a beautiful ring, championship ring.
Yeah, he told him Kurt Warner was going to be the greatest since Johnny Unitas. Cross down to Carrawell, breaks the timeline, and second pass, Battier fouled and helped back up. He'll step to the free throw line. Hard foul.
Great reversal, entering the post, reverse the ball to the weak side. Shane Battier, a coach's dream. Just a leader. He and Carroll understand the art of winning so well. There's Boozer with the good look to the weak side. And I'll tell you, if Dunleavy shoots today like he shot in practice yesterday, I mean, he was like automatic.
Mike Dunleavy, one of the talented freshmen. His daddy with the best record in the NBA right now. His father coaches the Portland Trailblazers, and they have caught and passed the Los Angeles Lakers.
They got an outstanding team, and I mean a team concept.
House might be able to watch something today. I think they're heading up to Boston for the Tuesday night, I think. As well as schedule right. Maybe I'm wrong. Friel comes up firing for Virginia. Rebound. It is Duke again.
They play Celtics tonight. Rick Pitino's gang, who, by the way, worked with Peter Gillen on the same staff. A lot of people don't know this. The University of Hawaii.
Yeah, that's right. Williams swings one up. Boozer battles to save it. And it is all
2-on-1. Give it up.
Map with the J. Missed it. Gets it right back, though.
He can shoot it.
And he does exactly that, Dick. On cue from you. Knocks down the tray. So Friel makes it a 10-point game again.
He's a transfer from out of Notre Dame. Shot big, the trifecta, and a big win by Notre Dame over Syracuse 2 years ago.
Boozer, strong fella. Put that shoulder down, Dick, and drove well to the left.
He's got great touch. He's got that beautiful touch, like our partner down there, Brad Daugherty. Brad, what about Boozer's development?
I really like Carlos Boozer. He plays the game in the athletic position, Dick. His knees are always bent. The other night against North Carolina, he stayed in the lane against a much bigger Brennan Haywood and was able to move him around because of his athletic position. He's going to be a great player at this level.
Hey, partner, I want to just remind you of something, okay? I asked you here one day, what was your record when you played against the Dukies? You responded 4-0. And you know what happened? All the radio shows, and they went bananas. They said, wait a minute, he lost 1 year here.
1 year. That is true. I was mistaken. We lost my senior year here, but I still was 3-1.
And you had 25 in the game?
I had 25 in the game. But that's not what it was about. We lost the game, so that's not important.
Back to the old-timers game. Boozer up with the J.
I tell you, he shoots that jumper like Daugherty did in a hole. Great touch. From out of Alaska. Alaska's been so good to Duke. Trajan Langdon and now Boozer.
Offensive foul called.
It's amazing how they have focused for this game because you're still dealing with young people. And most people would have thought that celebrating after the North Carolina win, that'd be a letdown. But you and I were here in practice yesterday, and wasn't Coach K really impressive at practice?
Yeah, those of you who've never been around this program, and it is so different than so many of the big-time programs, Mike embraces everyone who comes. Parents, great fans, reporters, television people. You actually sit there and listen as Mike is talking to the team. He brings you right inside. It is just such a refreshing way to watch big-time basketball. Some of these guys, I don't know, they lock it up and put in the single wing.
They're afraid of the media, and I don't know why. You're there to try to help them.
Jump shot. There's your guy, Carrawell again, Dick.
Oh, yes, sir. He's player of the year in the ACC. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The only challenge he can get is from his teammate, Shane Battier. Look at Battier playing defense. Really understands. Nice move.
And great help defense underneath. Offensive rebound by the Cavaliers, though, and Boozer commits the personal.
Virginia on a real tough road trip now. They got 4 games in a row on a road. They won their first against Wake Forest. Got beat by Maryland, where Maryland had a supreme effort. And now they have this and one more with Georgia Tech, where I really feel in my heart we will not see Bobby Cremins back next year. I think Bobby is going to announce that he will resign prior to the ACC tournament. I think right now he realizes that things are just not going the way that he would like them to go. And I think sometimes a change is good for everyone mentally. But I love Bobby. He's such a beautiful person. And I don't think he'll be fired. I really believe that the athletic director is going to let Bobby Cremins make the decision.
Ducharme makes the free throws, and we've got a timeout in Durham.
Have to invest much in combs. So I started using Rogaine when I was like 28 at the first sign of fallout. Before I looked like I needed it, because I know I would. So here I am. I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, right at the source of the problem, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him.
Simple, safe, smart. Rogaine. It's stronger than heredity.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go.
The NHL All-Star Game, Sunday, live at 2:30 on ABC.
Well, Robin Roberts sitting in for John Saunders today along with Digger. They'll show you Michigan State beating Connecticut and Cincinnati against the UAB team that's unbeaten at home. John, of course, is up in Toronto. The NHL All-Star Game tomorrow on ABC. North America versus the world. So the AutoMytel.com halftime report will feature a lot of basketball action. Dick, are you surprised that Michigan State handled Connecticut that easily?
Not really. They're playing exceptionally well right now. And Connecticut's got a few problems. They suspended a couple of kids. The chemistry's not right. And Michigan State's really played impressively right now.
Battier missed the putback and stayed right with it. He is so strong underneath. And now Nate James comes up to tap it in. They controlled the offensive glass.
I'll tell you, he's so underrated, Nate James. Came out of high school as a McDonald's All-Americans, had a lot of injuries, but a vital part of this team. What makes this team special, they can rotate a number of players into different parts.
And it's going to be an offensive foul. The ball's going over. To the Blue Devils, who lead it 27-11, showing you why they are unbeaten at ACC play. Dick, their regular season record in the ACC is getting to be ridiculous.
Oh, it's absurd. I mean, if you think about possibly running the table 2 years in a row, as you look at this number here, 17 wins in a row in this year, but 30 in a row in the ACC, one of the premier conferences in America. The last great run I've seen by a team, which I didn't think anybody would ever duplicate, was Indiana with Quinn Buckner and company going 36-0 2 consecutive years in the mid-70s. That's unheard of on a road to win consistently.
Dunleavy missing a free throw. It's still 27-11, 11-18 left here in the first half. And Virginia, of course, trying to do what all teams do in this situation, get it down within 10, but they won't do it just turning it over. Here's the lead pass to Williams. Missed. Tap back. Cavaliers come out. They got numbers this time. What can they do with it? They stayed at the perimeter and knocked it down. The trifecta by Chris Williams, and that's his first points of this game. Remember, in that overtime loss in Charlottesville, he scored 27.
Yeah, he's the big snooze. He's got good offensive ability. His ACC freshman of the year last year, Carwell, taking it right to the goal.
Dick, you know, we thought last year that Carwell was one of the better defensive stoppers that we had seen in college basketball. Are you surprised by his offensive prowess this year?
I really am. I'm surprised that he's developed such a complete offensive game. I always knew he was a solid offensive player, but he has stepped up to be a star on the offensive end. He's made my Super 6 All-American team that I picked, and I love him. I love everything about his game. Showing again the value of staying in school. His stock has gone up and up just like Kenyon Martin.
Now, how do you leave Battier off that team?
Well, you know, you only can pick 6 guys. That's a great question. As you look at him right here, there's Carwell rotating in lane. He made my Super 7. If I go to 7, he's on the club. Oh, you're tough. Hey, Robin, help me out, Robin. Hey, by the way, Peter Gillen's a Digger disciple. He worked for Digger at Notre Dame. A lot of people thought he would have been a coach at Notre Dame, but he turned them down at one time prior to John McLeod coming there. Loved Xavier, did a great job at Providence. Isn't Battier impressive? You and I spoke to him yesterday. We were talking about the new chairman of the board. General Motors is a Duke graduate in his 40s. Someday Battier may be a General Motors executive superstar.
Hand returns for Virginia. My partner hoping to get a discount on that new Corvette.
He's in the house today. Mike Krzyzewski said he'll introduce me. I got to find him. Richard Wagner.
The intense Krzyzewski.
Always intense.
Grandpa and his grandson watching his first game is here in attendance today.
Joey Savarino, nice little paisan, his daughter, man. A Krzyzewski and a Savarino.
It's a UN marriage. And on the jump hook, it is short, rebound, and it's Dunleavy with the basketball.
Duke's done a great job cutting off the running game of Virginia.
Block. Here's James.
He's so quick with the ball.
He sure is, but he out of control a little bit, and now it's Williams' turn.
Oh, nice dish. What a dish. Two-man running game. The Cameron Crazies go bananas. That's not the line. Cameron Indoor Stadium. There's the mom and dad.
David and Althea Williams.
St. Joe's High School, Metuchen, New Jersey.
Why does it say kiss on her cheek, Dick?
Keep it simple, stupid. Not kiss the group that you love. I know you're a big fan of Kiss. He has really developed. You saw him earlier this year, and watch him now. You can see him growing as a point guard.
Tough to get a good shot. And when you get one like that, Adam Hall has to put it away repeatedly. It's 33-16.
Adam Hall, a good athlete. He's a runner and jumper, outstanding defensive player. Let me tell you something. Virginia's a heck of a lot better than what we've witnessed here today.
This is the third game of a tough road trip for Gillen's Cavaliers. They split the first two, and they trail it here 33-16.
There's the nice little dish by Jason Williams to his buddy Carlos Boozer. If I were Boozer, I would hug Williams, take him out on campus, and I'd love him because the way he gives him the rock on the inside, it has really made Boozer so effective on the interior.
Well, next Saturday, Dick, we'll be covering Wake Forest against North Carolina. That'll be one of the games we're covering on ABC, so we look forward to that. Of course, the Tar Heels having that tough loss a couple of, you know, when you think about this Duke team, though, they were the first school in history to have 4 youngsters drafted in the first round of an NBA draft. Think of this now.
That's
Elton
amazing.
Brand, Trajan Langdon, Corey Maggette, William Avery, all gone, and here they are doing it all over again.
And on top of that, they lose a 6'11" center who transfers in Chris Burgess.
Yeah, Burgess would have been the starter.
Oh, he would have been a star had he stayed here. He went to Utah. He's got Rick Majerus, who is excited to have him, but he would have been a star here this year.
Boozer is fouled, and he'll come up to the free throw line. Well, we've talked about the freshmen on both Virginia and Duke. Take a look at the 3 outstanding freshmen on both teams.
Yeah, these 3 kids can flat out play. Virginia's done a great job in the recruiting process. Peter Gillen certainly moving them in a positive direction. And, you know, you made a great point earlier. You talked about the freshmen coming in and such impact players. You think about Cincinnati. Their backcourt is a freshman backcourt. Kenny Satterfield out of New York City and DeMar Johnson. You think of Arizona. Their backcourt is a freshman backcourt. So, I mean, teams are getting freshman kids to contribute in winning environments right away.
Well, they have to, because just think of all the talent that leaves for the NBA early. So there are positions and playing time available to these youngsters. And, of course, they've watched television. I think there's probably better coaching, Dick. Would you agree at the high school level?
Oh, no doubt about it. They become more specialized, and also the fact that summer league coaches get a lot of criticism. But the bottom line is these kids are playing internationally, playing all over in the summer, that they're not intimidated when they go into big arenas. So give them a little salute and not rip every AAU coach.
Mason off the glass, tap back, no, and goes against Virginia. So at Duke basketball, and a great start here by the Blue Devils. They lost their first 2 games, and they have won 17 in a row since. And they have been in overtime 5 times. They lost their first one in overtime, but since then they've been magnificent.
They really have been, and doing a great job, as you've seen there, rotating over defensively. We talked about it on top of the show, Greg, how we didn't anticipate a letdown by Duke because we were here at practice, and they had a very intense workout in terms of they were really into it mentally, and Coach K sat them down. He said, get a great night's sleep tonight. He said, I want to treat this like we are at a regional. He said, right now, we have won the first round, the Sweet 16, and now we're going for the final game to win the region. And to me, that's like a genius in motivating short-term goals. Hey, Brad, I imagine Dean Smith did that with you guys.
Yeah, Coach Smith was very similar in thought. He would always make sure that we came out after a big game and had extremely hard practice to make sure you didn't let the fatigue set in. And what happens with these youngsters, Dick, is that these guys are very young players. They don't get tired physically. They get tired mentally from trying to overfocus. So Coach K obviously doing a wonderful job.
What a great defense by Williams right there. Forced the 5-second count.
And on the 5-second turnover, it'll be Duke's basketball when we come back.
They think the market's going to go up 20% next year. What are they?
Tickets, folks. I'm out.
I keep reading about tax-efficient investing. Should I be doing that? Everybody else seems.
Let's see. Rates are falling, inflation's low, more stocks or more bonds.
Hey. Oh, man.
This investment strategies for you. Great. Just for me and 5 million other people.
Thank you, Payne Weber.
Tests have shown that some brake pads can take more than 20 feet longer to stop a car.
An independent lab developed D3EA, the only lab test which determines if brake pads are consistent with federal safety standards. Raybestos professional grade brakes are D3EA certified.
What was 20 feet from you after your last sudden stop? So demand Ray Bestis and look for this seal.
Ray Bestis, the best in brakes.
No down payment. Low financing on Honda Valkyries and Goldwings. Low payments on Valkyrie, Shadows, and Magnas with the Honda card. It's the road to savings. Incredible deals on some incredible Hondas. So hurry to your Honda dealer during the road to savings.
Michelin would like to remind you, there's only one safety feature on the road that actually touches the road. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Sure you're ready for this?
Yeah.
Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage.
Welcome to The Rock.
ABC tonight at 8, 7 Central.
We're going to watch the defense right here of Jason Williams, where he doesn't allow Donald Hand to make the turn and pressures him. As long as he's within 6 feet of him, he's got a 5-second count working with officials keeping. There it is. Two New Jersey guys going head-to-head. Donald Hand played on a great high school team. Tim Thomas, ready for this? Kevin Freeman from Connecticut. Also, Deshaun Williams from out of Syracuse on the same high school team.
Did they ever lose?
They lost 2 games, Patterson Catholic. 2 great teams beat them. DeMatha, as we know, is always good. And St. Anthony's in Jersey City, Mark Hurley's team.
Battier attacking the glass just like that. 2 more for the Blue Devils. 37-16.
Battier and Carroll have become 1-2 options as last year they were number 4 and number 5. And I can't even imagine how good they would have been if those kids came back to school.
A whistle. Let's bring in Brad. What's Virginia's problems underneath the glass?
Seems, Brad, as if Virginia, once they catch the basketball in the red zone, in the lane area, they're tentative. And I don't know if it's from coming off their last game or what it is, but they seem to be looking for someone to come. You can't wait on that. You have to play, you have to react and go to the basket. There's no anticipation there on their behalf, and it's really hurting.
You know, I think young kids, Brad, going on a road, getting beat like they did by Maryland when they gave up 91 points, that can weigh on your mind, too, coming in, and especially in an environment like this.
Most definitely. I think that the 91 points that they gave up is hurting them here a bit, because earlier in the season, they were very aggressive, going to the glass, Hall Williams attacking, putting on the backboard, but they're really tentative right now, Dick.
Williams brings it up for the Devils with 7:23 left in the first half.
Partner, you know basketball. What's your impressions of Williams on point guard?
Oh, he has got a brilliant future. He's one of the best I've seen here at Duke. It's hard for me to believe he's just a freshman. I watch him. He's very polished with the ball, seems to have court awareness, which you don't always see with freshmen.
And he's very strong, and he's just learning how to play the point guard slot. He made him kick the ball out there. He created that.
And here comes Carrawell to finish it, Dex.
Yes, sir. Chris Carrawell in transition. And the Cameron Crazies who love their Dukies give another cheer.
Not falling for Virginia.
And look who's out there rebounding. Carrawell. He plays so much bigger than his 6'6".
Ran baseline to baseline that time.
See, I think that rubs off on the young kids. When they see the effort being exerted by Battier and Carrawell, it becomes contagious.
Yeah, a very good point, Dick, because as you think about Duke as a tournament team, they've got great leadership within the team. It can't always come from the coach, right, Brad? You've got to have some players exert that.
Duke is really blessed to have Chris Carrawell and Shane Battier on that basketball court. These guys have very high basketball IQs. They're tough defenders. They make smart plays offensively. What leadership this team has for these two young men.
Yeah, you know, Dick, I always thought that was one of the great things about Michael Jordan being out on the floor. Brad can certainly second that. But in the NBA, too, Michael ran things out there.
Yeah, he really did. When you put the ball in Michael's hands, everyone knew what was going to happen. They knew how to react to him, and he's just such a tremendous leader.
And Hand knocks that 3 down for Virginia, Dick.
Donald Hand knocks one down finally. They got to make some threes. Hand and Mason to get him back in this game, and Creel if he comes off the bench.
Now you get hot there at the perimeter. It won't take long, even though they're down 20. The college game can turn.
And they can score points quickly. I mean, Virginia, very impressive. Had a big win over North Carolina at home. The 300th of Peter Gillen's career. They won 4 in a row in the ACC before losing to Maryland.
Here's James short on the iron, but Carrawell is right there, pulls the trigger.
And he got bounced there, and he still made it with contact on him. He has the ability to make the shot under pressure.
And responds, misses, and back, though, comes number 35. Watson on the putback.
Played at Oak Hill High School. They were undefeated in Virginia. Steve Smith does a great job. They have Ron Slay from Tennessee on that club. Steve Blake plays point guard for Maryland.
Farewell turns back up firing.
Oh, just big time. He is just big time. His confidence is at such a level now. It's incredible. He feels that nobody can stop him.
Air ball. James hands. Outlet now. Williams.
See now, early in the year, he would have tried to attack the basket. There's the basketball IQ.
Look at this.
Look at it.
Oh, what a beauty. Nick Horvath.
Oh, what a basket of TM, baby. That kid is developing to be one of the better point guards. And they've had greatness. Yes, Mom and Dad, you deserve to hug each other there. Wow, what a great look. Take a look at this guy. He backs it out, but he has the vision. He sees Horvath go right down the lane, and there's a little kick and a breakdown by Virginia defensively. Amazing. Good luck.
Shall I say it first, Mom and Dad, he's still not ready for the NBA, so don't think about it, okay? When those agents come calling.
That's where character starts. It starts at home, the time that baby's in a crib.
You got it.
So many youngsters, unfortunately, don't have what Jason has here, and really your heart goes out to him, but that's where it all begins when you talk about developing character right at home, and he has had that from an early age.
When everything is crumbling, there's always Mom and Dad, right?
That's right. I miss my mom and dad. God, I'd give anything for them to be living today.
Here comes Friel. Bad pass, but Virginia comes back with it, and another one. So they finally turn it over. And here comes the quarterback. Battier. Yes. Nails the three.
Well, are they tired? Do they have fresh legs? Would there be an emotional letdown? I ask you.
Driving the layup for Donald Hand.
You know, everybody was anticipating the letdown. The big-time emotional letdown after beating North Carolina. This man would not allow it to happen. If they were going to get beat, it was going to be with their best shot.
Carawell. Oh, ACC Player of the Year. How about the National Player of the Year?
Oh, wait a minute. There's a kid called Kenyon Martin. But you know what? He keeps playing like this. He'll get some votes. Hey, Brad Norton, can you believe what we're seeing?
I'm telling you, this team is coming out. They're so focused. That's what I'm so impressed with. Like I said earlier, you expect a young basketball team to lose their focus. They're going to be physically tired. They're 22, 23 years of age. 20 years of age.
That's a very good point, Brad. We sometimes forget that these are still youngsters and they can recover physically. But it's that mental edge, hey, Brad, that you got to have.
You're exactly right, Brad. It's the focus, the ability to focus, not be distracted when you're just a little bit tired mentally. These kids they're on top of it.
You know, I hear everybody always talking about how physically tired the kids will be, how many minutes they play. What they don't understand, these kids in the summer, they will play from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. They'll go pump weight. They'll run. I don't buy that. Battier told you and I yesterday. Remember he said 42 minutes? He said, I love it. He said, I played 20 minutes last year a game, and I didn't like it.
Donald Hand with 8 points for the Cavaliers.
Donald's one of the quickest kids in America with the ball. He and Tony Harrison.
We'll take a timeout. 3:34, and it is all the Blue Devils here at Cameron.
Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, it's time for your massage, Miss Johnson.
Solara. An entirely different kind of Camry. It's for you.
And it's like, you know, I look at Latrell, like he said, he's just a regular one of us, you know. Just because he a famous person, he don't portray the role of something he's not, you know. He's just the average person. He bleed the same blood, he breathe the same air.
He kind of like us. I don't hide nothing. And by me being me, I shine more than a lot of people.
It looks like you just wants to hang out and be him. And there's nothing wrong with being who you are. Be you. You do you, and I'll do me.
Regardless who you are, you just gotta believe in yourself.
Business trip, $400 million. Calls to the office, $230,000. Rental car, $45 million. finding time to squeeze in a little golf? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted just about everywhere golf is played.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
They're back.
Mary, Rhoda.
Mary Tyler Moore and Valerie Harper, an ABC original. Mary and Rhoda, Monday 8/7 Central on ABC.
Tremendous first half for Chris Carrawell. As we went to break, you could see Mike Krzyzewski walking over toward the student body, and he was telling him to kind of keep it down on one of the cheers that he thought was a little offensive here. This was a very creative student body. They were working with Hans' last name and another word that will go unsaid, but caused a chuckle, but not from Mike. Here's Boozer, and one.
Carlos Boozer going right down the gut of the defense, showed his ability to score in the interior. Scored 7 big points in the overtime against North Carolina when they were without Brendan Haywood, and I thought that was a big, big loss for North Carolina, losing Haywood. I think if North Carolina could find a way to package their second half performance against Duke, their second half performance against Maryland, they will be able to run the table. I think you're going to see 5 teams this year from the ACC in the NCAA tournament. And Carolina will be one of them, along with NC State. And I think Virginia's going to go on a run after they get out of here and basically get in a tournament as well, along with Duke.
Watson for the Cavaliers.
And Maryland. Watson's going to be a big-time player down at Virginia. He's got good inside moves. He's a tenacious rebounder. I really thought we were going to see one heck of a game here, Brent. I told you coming over, I thought we were going to see a great game, and not because Duke was going to be emotionally down, but basically because I thought Virginia had the confidence, the firepower to really play with them.
Levy's cut off, and here comes Boozer attacking again.
He really attacks the basket. He has that nose and understands how to score around the bucket. He can finish. He can finalize.
Great development in the upper body for a freshman. His shoulders are extremely strong.
You got to remember, he had a broken foot and missed the preseason.
Williams is short, loose. Back to Williams on the drive. The wraparound is a beauty.
Nice reverse layup. He's had some sensational moments. He was brilliant against North Carolina when he scored 24, and they couldn't handle him on the baseline.
That's 5 for Williams.
Spread in the core, trying to get good spacing all the time offensively. Make it difficult to give help.
There's Boozer in low. Too strong. Too strong, Nick.
He's so strong, but he also has great footwork. And he understands how to post inside, how to drop step, how to hold the guy off.
I guess your only question about Duke as the season progresses would be their lack, perhaps, of the great big man down low as Watson comes back and he puts another field goal in the book.
Yeah, well, they have trouble against Stanford because Stanford's so physical inside. Stanford having a great year, just blew out UCLA at UCLA. And also it'd be interesting to see them play against someone like Cincinnati with the likes of Kenyon Martin and Peter Michael.
We'll see Cincinnati next Sunday.
Yes, we'll see him against the Bulls. He's got a lot of talent. It's been a little bit of a disappointment thus far this year, but he's had a lot of injuries.
Nice ovation for Boozer, who leaves. And Sanders will get some playing time for the Blue Devils. That's Casey Sanders, a 6'11 freshman out of Tampa, down around your area, Dick.
Tampa, Florida is a kid with a lot of potential. He's got good skills, has to get stronger physically.
Williams foul. He'll shoot a pair.
You know, you talk about great diaper dandies. I did a commentary that'll be running on ESPN, I guess, in a week or so, where I give my Super 7, the freshmen that have been dominant and productive this year. And certainly on that team is going to be this young guy with the guard from out of, who I love, from Arizona, Jason Gardner. And if you ever get a chance, and I know you love Mr. Iverson, if you ever get a chance, you can see a mini version of him. Sir Valiant Brown from George Washington and Tom Penders. He has a chance to lead the nation in scoring.
I'm not the biggest Iverson fan around, my good buddy. I think he's a wonderful, you know, Showtime is great with him. I like get better when the point man involves everybody, and sometimes you wonder about that.
He's so explosive. What he does, he puts a rock concert on every night. He's got people laying high fives, but I wonder if he can win big in that situation.
Rio rolls it up and in.
He transferred from out of Notre Dame. What a job Matt Doherty's doing.
Yeah,
former
great
Tar
coaching
Heel.
job, isn't it?
Yes, he's doing it. Got a great player there, Troy Murphy, an All-American.
Great move by Williams to get open, knocks it down.
What confidence. I mean, he just believes he's good, and he's showing it every day, getting better and better. And think of the point guards that played here. Tommy Amico, Quinn Snyder. You think of Bob Hurley, Wojciechowski.
Turn it over. Williams on the dribble, got numbers on his left side. Kick it back out there. And Nappy attacks.
Hello, his father couldn't do that. His daddy couldn't do that. His daddy could shoot the rock.
Nappy's short.
He said he doesn't play his dad one-on-one anymore. He said, my dad's got a little bit older. I used to play him as a kid. But did you see how unselfish Jason was? How he looked to kick the ball back out? You're having a lot of fun here today. You're laughing, smiling, thinking about your snowmobiling.
And watching this young man. What a delight. Jason Williams.
Wow, Mr.
Triggers Duke's biggest first half of the season, Dick. 65 points.
Wow.
The Blue Devils lead at 65-33, and we're going to be back with the AutoBytel.com halftime report right after this.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is unbelievable.
NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And Pep Boys. Cars like us, people love us. We'll return with the AutoBytel.com halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Freedom. Control. What a ride. Just you and your laptop. Log on to AutoBytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. It's a hassle-free trip. AutoBytel.com. The road to your next car.
I'd be calling if it wasn't. This ain't no paper cut. Marie. That's an apartment. You go upstairs. It's the fourth floor.
Billy?
Well, okay. Okay, I'll hold. Right. I understand. Listen, just get over here as soon as possible, okay? Well, you found me out. I admit it. I'm a stargazer. Sometimes I get paranoid when it has to do with my equipment.
You live across the street from me.
Yeah, I moved in a while ago. Bit of luck there, too, huh?
Yeah. Well, it looks like you really know your stuff.
You know, I was hoping that you, wouldn't see the photographs. I wanted to, surprise you with them this Christmas.
What's going on, Kyle?
God, you're right. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Can I offer you a drink or something?
Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
One Baker 12, control.
It's nice to have this time with you. I know how busy you were through that last trial.
I appreciate all you contributed to the case.
That's my job. That's what surveillance is all about. Supplying the hard evidence. Yeah, I just wish you would have won. The bastard would have gotten off. You should have won, Jim. I watched the whole thing. You were Estuviste impecable. Jim, you're a hot lawyer. You're the best.
Thanks.
It hurt me to see you lose.
Well, ultimately, you have to go with the facts, Kyle.
That's right. Want a cookie?
The epicenter registering 7.1 on the Richter scale is believed to be near Santa Cruz. Flames have begun to spread further into San Francisco's Marina District. Its homes and buildings in shambles. Firefighters and volunteers received are just beginning to fight very different disasters. None have been able to leave the city. Bridges surrounding the city have been damaged.
Do you remember the first time we met?
You know, we really should think about getting out of here.
It was in the conference room. You handed me a piece of paper. A yellow slip of paper. And we touched. That was the feeling. And you had the same look on your face. Do you remember the feeling?
Yeah, Kyle. I do.
Jenny, fate has brought us together with one hell of a bang.
Okay, Kyle. I gotta go.
Excuse me?
I gotta go. I have responsibilities.
So do I. Jenny, it's dangerous out there. What if something happened to you? How do you think I'd feel? Did you consider that for even 1 minute?
Yeah. Okay, look. I'll go back to my house, straighten things up a bit, and I can meet you back here.
Straighten things up? God, the city's collapsed! Jenny! God, you're funny. You're very funny, Jenny.
Perhaps I could find something more suitable to wear.
This suits me. I'll tell you something, Jenny. I couldn't stand to be away from you. Not now. Not after what we've been through. just a minute. You okay?
What? Mr. Ryan, it's the fire department. We're evacuating this building immediately.
Oh, sorry. I shut off the gas. I'm trying to put the place in order.
Well, look, the quakes left this building structurally unsafe. You're in a lot of danger in there. You better get out.
Really? That's strange. Looks pretty sturdy up here, but thanks for asking.
Listen, mister, I'm not asking, I'm telling you. There's a fire heading this direction. You better get out. You're in a lot of danger.
Get me out of here!
Come on, Joe.
What the hell are you trying to prove?
I just thought... You never called the paramedics, did you?
You know, Jenny, I'm starting to get a sense of a lack of trust here. Come on, Joe. That's no way to build a relationship. That's no way at all, Jennifer. Tell me what the hell it is you want! And shut up that goddamn muck for starters! You're really pushing it, Jenny.
No! No! Oh! Please!
After all we've been through.
Oh!
Years of work, rounding up the data, helping to comb the lice out of the short hairs of society.
Help me!
And on top of that, I saved your fucking life! All I'm asking for in return is to have and to hold, to honor and respect.
No!
Okay, forget the respect. Till death do us part.
Who's there?
Fire department, Mr. Ryan. Oh, yeah, just gathering up some things.
Does someone need help in there or what?
No, can you hold on for just a minute? Open this door, Ryan.
Listen, fellas, my wife's